So can I do it myself? We get this question a lot here, whether it's divorce or custody matters or whatever type of issue you're dealing with, family law related. Can I do this myself? What does this look like if I do it myself? And of course, as an attorney, we want you to hire attorneys, but there really are a lot of reasons to be hiring an attorney depending on the specific type of thing that you're dealing with. Whatever your legal issue is, there can be a lot of reasons where really it's more than just telling you because we're an attorney, hire an attorney. There can be a lot of things that can go on, mistakes that get made that can't be fixed later, and things that become kind of permanent. So I'm Brent Boyer from Adam, by the way, just so you know. And don't forget to like the video or subscribe. Subscribe is bottom right. Just hover over that and you can subscribe to the channel. Then you'll get updates on when we do new divorce and family law related videos. But do-it-yourself divorce. So, certainly a lot to it depending on what county you're in. There certainly are counties right now where there's no way I would recommend trying to do this on your own. It's just too much to navigate with the system and the paperwork and the complexity and the step-by-step process and the whole thing. But certainly there are some parts of it that you can do. But, mistakes that happen, things that you would not want to see going on with a do-it-yourself divorce. I met with someone yesterday, had a divorce from, years ago, 12 years ago. He's now looking to retire, and his divorce judgment had language in there about dividing his pension. And it's wrong. The language is just absolutely, it's not correct. It makes an assumption that isn't even the right assumption about his pension. Basically it states that his now ex-wife, that his wife at the time, gets half of the entire pension because it's assuming, the way it's worded, that the entire pension was from during his marriage. And that wasn't the case. He was married 15 years. He worked another 7 years after that. And now he's in this issue where, because of how the divorce judgment is worded, that his wife is going to have a right to half of the entire pension instead of only having a right to half of those 15 years. And that's a difference. She's getting an extra 7 years of pension that she's not entitled to and shouldn't be getting. And now we have to look at, is there a legal way out of this? There might not be, but it was done. There was no attorney, and it was written up by her attorney, and either they made a mistake or took advantage of him, either way. And it's worded the way it's worded, and now he's probably stuck with that, and that's not good. There's no one that can fix that later, and that's going to cost him some money, more money than he would have ever spent on an attorney. So there are definitely money issues that are reasons to not be trying to do a divorce yourself or trying to handle other things on your own. There can be other mistakes made with property. It can be things that get omitted. The wording's not right. You don't quite get the language properly. A divorce judgment drafted through our law firm, that's usually a good 25-page document, especially if you have children. It's not something that's easily entered into, easily created, or easily done, and it's not something you want to be trying to do on your own. Now, there certainly are examples where there's a divorce where you probably could handle it on your own, especially depending on what county you're in and how easy it is to file things and do the forms. But it's something to keep in mind. The mistakes that get made, the wording that's wrong, things that are done that cannot be changed later. That any property agreements are final. Those are not modifiable later. There's no getting out of something that was done by mistake. Maybe you didn't know, you weren't aware, something gets omitted, written up the wrong way. There's a lot of examples of that with child-related things. College expenses is a good example. You can put in a divorce judgment that you're going to pay part of your child's future college expenses. There's no law requiring you to pay for college. And if you reach that agreement and you got that in your divorce judgment, now you're stuck. Now you have to pay for college. It's now mandatory. And now you're court ordered to do something that you could never have been court ordered to do. And that's not really where you want to be. You don't want to be the guy who's paying college expenses when really you can't afford it, but you got, this court order that's requiring you to do it, and it's mandatory, and now you're just the deadbeat who's paying it because it was in the order. That's no good. You would want to leave something like that out of your judgment. So that's another example of where this do-it-yourself stuff just doesn't serve you well. Custody is another one. Custody and parenting time. Custody agreements are final. It's really, really hard to modify a custody agreement after an order's been entered, after the judgment of divorce is done, after the custody order is done, if you're not married. It's really, really tough. The law requires a high threshold. There's a strict scrutiny you have to pass to succeed on getting custody modified after the fact. You're not gonna just do this for now and then we'll look at it later. That's wrong. Unless your court order says we're gonna review it in a year, even then there has to be a legal basis. You can't just change it for no reason. So a lot of things that you end up with, you should assume that all agreements and everything you're doing are final and permanent, and then act accordingly. It's worth getting the advice. It's worth seeing what an attorney says about all of it. Even if you just meet with an attorney, it's worthwhile. There are too many people we see too many times that get into things, whether it's property division, retirement accounts, alimony, spousal support. They get into agreements and do things that are permanent, and there's really no fixing them later, and you don't want to be down that path. You want to know where you're getting yourself into. Hope that helps. Thanks.